Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently fishing for some better exploration contracts. That would be nice. We have something here to do some flying on Eve, which is fine. I mean, we can definitely do that. That would be like an unmanned thing, at least for now. I suppose we could make it be manned and only just dip in. That's a theoretical possibility. We could use our same craft for our flyby, or rather for our orbit, right? So this guy here. And then we would just barely hop in. Now, I believe that I said that I wanted to include a larger reaction wheel here. So we would want one like that, just to help this turn a little bit faster. So something along the lines of this would do the trick. Who do we want to bring for this? It's going to potentially be spicy, but we want to just barely dip into the atmosphere by like 1 meter. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to land. I don't want to crash into the surface of Eve. All of these things are things that I want to save for future exploration contracts. So I think we'll just go ahead and launch this as is. And let's get on out of here. We're going to make our way over to Eve as quickly as possible, as soon as the game loads. Any moment now. There we go. Cool. Throttle up, SAS on, and off we go. So we're going to go in like, what, 500 meters tops? And then we're going to head back out. And the idea would be that we grab what science we can in the atmosphere, and then we just bail, re-raise our apoapsis, and don't go back in. That's the overall concept here. And then we bring this on back. Oh, that's wiggly. That is very wiggly. Okay. Well, it should be fine. But there's definitely some wiggles going on here. Cool. Well, our apoapsis is increasing here. That's absolutely fine for the moment. How long on our SRBs? About 20 seconds? Sure. I want to continue moving over towards horizontal. But the wiggle does make it difficult. Atmospheric analysis. It's currently stowed. Okay, I'm watching our time to apoapsis right now. I think it's fine. Our actual apoapsis is quite low, though. But it will start to go up soon. I'm going to lock to prograde here. And SRBs are gone. Beautiful. We're going to park here on prograde for a little bit. Until we're at about an apoapsis height of 50-ish kilometers. Should be good. 48, 49, and 50. Let's head over to the horizon at this point and get just that horizontal speed. Okay, we've definitely still got some wiggling going on here, but it should be cleared up pretty quickly here. So we're just going to burn here horizontally, keeping an eye on this burn timer. 56 kilometers, 57, 58. This is feeling very, very low, considering that we're about to be burned out of this tank. I'm going to get us a bunch more altitude here. Okay. That's 80 kilometers. That'll do. So, from here, we're going to do this. I just didn't want to still be in the atmosphere while we were trying to circularize with a nuclear engine. That would have been very, very unfortunate. So we'll just do something kind of like this, and that's absolutely fine. We'll lock to the maneuver node. Oh, did I forget to remove the oxidizer from here? Yes, I did. Beautiful. Well, I guess that's fine for now. That's some dead weight, but it's not the end of the world. We know that we've got more than enough fuel to do this, so it's fine. We're going to physics warp until we are out of the atmosphere here. This burn time is inaccurate because we're in atmosphere. There we go. Much better. So about 30 seconds until the burn. 20. I should probably come out of physics warp and use the regular warp. It's faster. And 3, 2, 1, and mark. Excellent. This is going to be a somewhat lengthy burn, so we'll physics warp our way through. But now that we can lock to the maneuver node, that's going to make things much smoother. So I love it. We should probably remember to extend our solar panels. And eventually our antenna. Now is fine for that. Okay, I may have overshot this. It's okay. No major big deal there. We're just going to gravity assist around the moon, which the timing is a little awkward for this. It's going to need to be earlier than this. Probably going to need to wait in orbit. Actually, no, don't do radial. I want to move the timing. Fascinating timing. That does the trick. Okay, lock to that maneuver node. And we're going to commence this burn shortly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. And off we go. Beautiful. It's going to be a kind of lengthy burn on this nuclear engine. Kind of lengthy. But that's an absolutely fine gravity assist right there. And the timing was basically bang on. I love it. So we're off to do a flyby of the moon real quick on our way out of the system. 100 meters per second to go, coming out of physics warp. And 3, 2, 1, and just going to get this last little bit here. There we go. That'll do. How are we looking? Technically, we need to go a little bit further. Actually, a little less far? A little less far. Remarkable. We've overshot it slightly. That's probably due to some timing shenanigans. There we go. That'll do the trick. Cool. What's our actual... Okay, that's 295 meters. We, might not want to go in at 295 meters. That's a little close. That'll probably be an impact trajectory, to be honest. So we're going to back that off ever so slightly. And that's still escape trajectory. I like it. That should do the trick. So we'll warp here. Here we come, moon. Coming in kind of awkwardly retrograde, but I'm sure it'll be fine. In fact, it will definitely be fine. So now we need to warp to here. Goodbye, moon. Thank you for the gravity. And loading back into Kerbin's sphere of influence as of now. Cool. And of course, now we'll look to escape Kerbin. Sometime around here looks good. We'll set Eve as our target. This is actually the ascending node right here. We're passing it. We're still within Kerbin's sphere of influence. So for the moment, I'm not going to make that adjustment. As a curiosity, if we were to burn normal immediately here, we're a little late on it, what would that look like? Let's get turned around here. What would this end up looking like? Well, let's actually do this in a maneuver, like here. So if we were to do this, hypothetically. Actually, it's anti-normal. I mean, it's not perfect, obviously. But that should be good enough, right? I'm pretty convinced that 0.2 degrees would be good enough to at least get us captured. And if we were to burn this slightly earlier, like literally right now, seems like it'd be good. Okay, so it's going to be a bit of a lengthy burn. Let's physics warp it here. 1.5, 1.4, 1.3. We might be able to get this down to 0.1. We'll see. We know it's going to be right around over here where it starts to go back up. And we want to be pointed at anti-normal. Okay, this is probably about as good as we're going to get. What would a transfer look like here? I mean, it's not perfect by any means. Yeah, that timing isn't great. So we would end up needing an orbit. Or two? Nah, probably one. Yeah, one orbit would be what we would need. But, okay. That seems reasonable. All things considered. I want to set Eve as our focus. Why am I... Oh, we're stuck in that. Okay, that would explain it. Can we stop that? Thank you. Okay. That bug was happening again. Now we want to fine-tune our periapsis here, for sure. And I don't want the alarm clock. Get out of here. Okay. I want to fine-tune our periapsis here. We should probably bring it in something kind of like this, tossing in a little bit of that. And... yeah, something a little more along the lines of this. Now I want this to be an apoapsis of approximately 100 kilometers. And we'll circularize there for now. So something along the lines of this will do. It's not quite equatorial, but it gets the job done. Yeah, that should definitely do the trick. So we'll get into position for this, and we'll need to start a warp here. It's going to be a pretty lengthy warp, so I'm going to cut that out. And we will be back in just a moment. See you guys in a bit. Okay, so here we are with our time warp just having completed, and the burn is going to be in approximately 1 minute. We'll continue to warp forward. Can we get rid of this? Thank you. 20 seconds, 10 seconds, and 3, 2, 1, and 0. Perfect. We'll physics warp this burn. And let's get on over there. About another 50 seconds on the burn, 400 meters per second to go. It's definitely a lot quicker and easier when we can just lock onto the maneuver node. I love it. 100 meters per second to go. We're going to come out of physics warp here, and we've got a little bit yet to do. Okay, let's get this last little bit done. Overshot it slightly. It should be okay. Nope, it's not okay. So we're going to have to bring this back over to prograde and very, very gently bring that back up. We did definitely overshoot it a little bit. Okay. That's definitely too low. You know, we're on an escape trajectory here. Where does this throw it to? Do we want to even circularize and enter orbit here? It kind of just throws us back to Kerbin. What if we were to hop over to retrograde, bring this down in thrust limiting, and just dip down to be like 89.5 here? This should be more than enough speed to not have an issue with getting captured. I think it's good. So something along the lines of, that's 89.139. That should be good enough. That should do the trick right there. So we're going to grab the data that we can on the way through. We're going to... which side are we coming in on? 142.354 and 142.40. So we're coming in this way. We should, at this point, warp to, like, here. We're not trying to get captured. Is even 1 kilometer too much? Maybe. But we're going to be coming in pretty fast. This is Eve we're talking about, though. Let's think about adding in, like, right around here. Oh, this moved. Sure. Let's think about adding in right around here and doing something kind of like this. A very small radial burn that takes us to that 89 kilometer marker. Okay. And we can unthrust limit this to like 15% thrust. Yeah, that's going to be absolutely fine. Beautiful. I just don't want to go too deep into this atmosphere. The Eve atmosphere is insane. And we are not equipped for flying through that. So, in we go. Where is Eve even? There it is. Hi, Eve. Okay, so we're going to be falling in here, and you'll note we're going to hit an incredible speed. We're going to be wanting to go through prograde, so that we can push our way back out if possible. I don't actually want to be stopping time warp at this moment. Okay, let's get lined up for this. Cool. We're still in space high right now. But let's get in position here. This feels like a really weird direction to be burning to raise our periapsis. But okay. Yeah, please stop warping. Or stopping my warp. Thank you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's just gently start this up. Oh my. Okay. Something kind of like that. That did lower it further. Yeah, I thought it would. Hang on. If we were to hop directly over to radial in, I thought that felt weird. It's probably because this reset there. But we don't want to be this low, for sure. So we want to be at radial out. Let's flip around to that. Okay. And we're going to lift this up to be about 89.5. We're only dipping in... Actually, I'm going to go 750. We're only dipping in 250 meters into the atmosphere. It should be very, very, very mild at that point. There we go. 89,750. That should do the trick. Now we're going to lock to prograde. We should preemptively open our service bay, because we don't know how long we're going to have in the atmosphere, but it's not going to be long. So we're going to enter the atmosphere. We are going to need to stow our solar panels and our antenna before we do this. We're still pretty high right now. So I'd like to warp to around here. Okay. Now we should stow our solar panel and antennas. Flip around those plurals. Our singular antenna and our plural solar panels. Okay, so we retract that antenna. Beautiful. You can see how quickly we're moving here. And at this point, we're just going to dip very slightly into the atmosphere, and then we're going to go home. That's the goal. So, we're only going to be in the atmosphere for a few seconds. Grab all the data. Okay. Collect everything. Grab what we can again. Oh, we are back out. Well, we got all that data. Beautiful. And we're now slingshotting back out. So at this point, I want to set Kerbin as our target. I don't know if we're going to have any sort of a... anywhere near an intercept there. Probably not. I mean, we're off on our inclination, for sure. So once we make our way out over here, we can add a maneuver and feel out what that's going to look like if we were to burn, say, retrograde here. It's actually kind of interesting. Almost a decent transfer window. Almost. Okay, let's see. Our ascending node is here. If we were to simply burn anti-normal out here, we could get this most of the way back, or some of the way back anyway. Some of the way back. But then if we were to toss in... Let's see, this would be where the target would be, and this would be where we would be. So we would need to slow down quite a lot here. While also doing this, right? So we just need to change that timing quite dramatically. That would be where we would be. That would be where Kerbin would be. So I think that this is probably not going to be a decent encounter here. But one thing we can certainly think about is what happens if we were to push it up over here. That's actually pretty decent. That's an encounter. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Excellent. Is it a good encounter? Probably not. Yeah, that could definitely use some dialing in, but sure, I like it. So we're going to bring this on up and in. There we go. We're seeing this start to flip over at this point, so we probably want to tune it in this way. Some extreme awkwardness going on there with these angles. We'll have to do some radial tweaks. I don't really care where we come in at Kerbin, to be clear. We can come in polar like this. That's fine. We would just need to bring it in something like this. And we're going to be moving. Like, we're going to be really, really moving. That will require a radial retrograde burn. No doubt about that. That's going to have some speed. But that does the trick. We'll have enough delta V to pull it off, and yeah, I love it. This is a relatively decent trajectory here. So we are, of course, leaving Eve, and we're moving very quickly. We're going to warp on over. Goodbye, Eve. Eve is receding very swiftly. No doubt about that. Here in about 80 days, we're going to commence our burn to return home. And the actual return time is going to be how far in the future? Quite a ways, about 300 days. But that's not too bad, all things considered. Yeah, 285. Looks good. So we're going to warp forward a little bit further here. This is an 11-minute burn. Hang on a moment. We need to unthrust limit. That would help. So we're going to warp forward a little further. Cool. This is more like it. About 10 seconds here, and we'll commence the burn in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Cool. And we will physics warp our way through this. And homeward bound we go. Now, we want to make sure that we hit this quite accurately here. We're probably going to have to fine-tune this burn a little bit. 20 seconds left in it. 10. Taking us out of physics warp. 3, 2, 1, and 0-ish. Bring this last little bit in. Okay, yep. We definitely can tell that we need to take this over to, I believe, normal is the direction that we need to take this. Or anti-normal. One or the two. Anti-normal. Okay. So we're going to head around to anti-normal here. There we go. Wait, what? We didn't get the contract done? We definitely entered the atmosphere of Eve, though. Like, we have data from Eve's upper atmosphere. Oh, okay. I don't know why the game thinks that we didn't enter the atmosphere of Eve. We certainly did. Maybe we have to return from it? Or we have to collect the data? I don't know. I think that we didn't get credit for that. But whatever. We're going to bring this up. We're going to bring this home, and I might do it again off camera so that we actually get credit. So we'll do something kind of like this. That looks good. Which side are we coming in on? 283.18 and 283.15. Okay. So we're coming in on this side. We should do around here a retrograde burn, pinning this open, and we're going to want to continue to use our radial burn to keep from actually impacting the ground here. And it'll end up being something kind of like this. We can see that that is quite a lot of fuel. No doubt about that. But this seems like an absolutely fine burn right here. Beautiful. So position for that, I'm going to say that we successfully completed this contract. And if I have to do it off camera, and I might even cheat it, getting it done off camera, because we definitely did it. That's a bug. We 100% did that. We entered the atmosphere of Eve. Maybe we're supposed to enter more than 250 meters, but if so, it should say that, right? I'll run some experiments off camera, and we will see. Okay, so this warp is going to be a bit. I'm going to cut this out, and we'll be back around the time of this burn. See you guys in a bit. Okay, and here we are over Kerbin. I also extended our solar panel and our communitron because I realized I forgot to do that. Luckily, it's a crewed vehicle, not a big deal there. So we were able to do that without any electricity. But unfortunately, these guys didn't have their cat flicks on the way back. That is a little bit sad. We're going to be commencing this burn in about 15 seconds here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Burn commences, and we will begin to slow down. That is that tank already out. It barely had anything left. And of course, now we're drawing from these outer tanks here. So we are going to be entering the atmosphere relatively soon. We're pretty high up right now. We're going to physics warp here and continue to decelerate. I have no idea if that's going to survive the re-entry or not. Like, if it's going to be flung out. It might be, but probably not. I think it'll burn up in the atmosphere, to be honest. We're definitely slowing down nicely here. Cool. We're keeping that periapsis height fairly high. Over the second half of the burn, the periapsis height will start to drop. We were in space near the tundra. Yeah, we could grab EVA reports near the ice caps. I'm not too concerned about that. It's only 8 science. For the time being, it's whatever. So, we're just going to continue our deceleration burn here. However, once we dip into the atmosphere, we're going to switch over to a surface velocity minus burn. We're going to, at this point, retract the solar panels and retract our antenna. And now we switch to surface velocity minus. Cool. So we'll just continue to decelerate here as much as we can. We're moving pretty quickly. There's no doubt about that. We may want to take a second aerobrake pass. At the very least, I'm going to wait until we're closer to the periapsis height for this burn. Yeah, we're still accelerating here. Now we're decelerating. But that time to periapsis is decreasing. Okay, I don't like the heat gauge, so we're going to start this up. We're still at almost optimal thrust. Not quite. But this burn is now going to affect the apoapsis much more than the periapsis, which is exactly what I want it to do. We can see the time to periapsis is still dropping, but it's about to start going up. So we're not coming back out here, which is excellent. That's exactly what we want. But yeah, we can definitely see we're mostly affecting our apoapsis, which is exactly what I want to do. So that apoapsis is shrinking right on down. Time to periapsis is increasing, which means that we're going to start affecting it more. We'll shut down this burn once our periapsis height reaches approximately 20 kilometers. And it'll continue to drop after that, which is fully expected. But it's not going down very quickly yet, so that's good. However, our apoapsis is now officially in the atmosphere. Beautiful. And we're barely at orbital velocity. Now we're at suborbital. And we should shut down our engines. Are we going to try to recover all of this? Well, no, we're not. We're going to ditch these tanks, even though there's a lot of fuel left in them. There they go. And we're going to ditch all of this as well. And we're going to go down to our heat shield. Now, unfortunately, we've got this going on. We could try to shake it off. Taking it up that way. It definitely doesn't want to get shaken off. I think this is the same problem as before, where the object is locked in there. Yeah, that's definitely the same problem. Okay, we'll just lock it retrograde. We'll call that good. Now we're going to be oscillating a bit here because I was trying to shake that off. Yeah, I need to reattach that part in the service bay. What happens if we just open the service bay here? But yeah, the problem is that we have a piece of equipment here. This guy, I think. It's in here. Oh, there it goes. Beautiful. So that piece of equipment is attached to not the heat shield, not the service bay, but actually to the fuel tank there, which is very strange, but whatever. I didn't fix that. It's fine. So we're going to come on down here. We should be completely safe at this point. We've got a lot of space between us and the ground and a lot of drag. Looks like we're going to be coming down in water, is my guess, although maybe. We might be coming down in water. Potentially. We're slowing down nicely. Nope, it is going to be land. Okay, drogue's out. And mains. Apparently we're coming down in this city. I love it. It's actually just a texture. But we're coming down in this city. Perfect. Yeah, it is remarkable to me that we actually didn't enter the atmosphere of Eve according to this. Maybe you have to be a certain distance in, but I wish the contract said that, if that was the case. We definitely did enter the atmosphere of Eve, and we have the experiments to prove it. Like, right there. So I don't know. Maybe it'll give us credit when we get data from it, but I don't think it will. I'll experiment with that off camera and see what the actual requirements are. But for now, we'll bring this on in. And we will get a decent amount of science out of it anyway, so it's not a completely wasted flight. But we definitely should have gotten credit for entering the atmosphere of Eve. I don't know, maybe it was because we weren't actually in orbit? Maybe. Because we didn't do a braking burn. We would have had the fuel to do it. If that's the case, then I'm going to redo this flight off camera and enter orbit. We'll see. We'll see what that requires. We're not going to have this next episode, assuming I remember. That's potentially a big assumption. Okay, I guess we can grab a seismic scan here, but that's all I'm going to do. Let's recover that vessel. I'm going to call that a completed contract because we did enter the atmosphere, but I'll have to figure out off camera what the actual requirements for that are. Very sad. We'll get a little bit of science out of it anyway, and you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. Let's see what we got out of this. I was hoping it would be loaded by now. Almost. Almost. Maybe. Any moment now, game. You can do it. There we go. 546 science. Not bad. Okay. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kentogan, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.